everyone, and welcome to the RV Inspection and Care podcast and video. I'm Dwayne, and I'm a certified RV inspector, and today we're going to be talking about RV depreciation, what it is, and how you can minimize it and save money on your purchase of an RV. Well, what is depreciation anyway? I mean, we hear that term used a lot. It's simply something that occurs when something you buy loses value over time. Now, it often happens with vehicles like cars and trucks and with RVs as well. So why do they depreciate so fast? Well, because especially with RVs, new ones are coming out every single year with new features and new capabilities. And so that means the older ones are not quite as valuable. Also, from year to year, there's going to be wear and tear on the RV. So that's going to lessen the value as well. So the thing I want you to keep in mind is that RVs should not be considered an investment in any way. They're all going to lose value somehow over time. But the question is, how fast do they lose value? How much? Well, most new RVs that you buy are going to lose about 20% of their value within the very first year or so of your ownership. And then after that, they will lose more from year to year, but it's not going to be nearly as much as that first couple of years. Now, here's the good news though. Depreciation does drop off fairly quickly in the first 5 years, but after 5 years, it tends to slow down in its drop in value from there. In fact, by year 5, most RVs have depreciated somewhere around 35% on the average. But by year 10, it's only dropped to 50 or 60%. So I think you can see it started to level out a little bit between year 5 and 10. But different brands, different manufacturers lose value at different rates. And why is that? Well, that's because some brands are known for quality. They have a great reputation, so their value holds longer. These are brands like Airstream, Casita, Oliver, Newmar, and maybe even Grand Design we could put in there. And there's others as well. I can't go down the whole list, but there's quite a few high quality brands that just hold their value better. And on the other side of the equation, these typical high production RV makers, you know, the ones that you see everywhere at almost any dealer you go into, and they've got tons and tons of models and all price ranges and so on. Typically, they are the ones that often lose their value quicker, faster. So just keep that in mind. Now, how can you slow down this loss of value in this RV that you have bought? Well, we're going to share 3 ways you can do that. And number 1, we've actually already covered. That is, try your best to buy a quality RV brand from a quality RV manufacturer. Now, how do you know what is quality, or which are the ones that have the best reputation? I know it's a challenge. That's why I created several guidebooks to help you in that quest, to identify the quality brands in the kind of RV that you're looking at. So that can be a big help for you. But now let's move along to our second point on keeping the depreciation loss as low as possible. And that is maintain your RV as well as you possibly can. Now, this is something, and I've got to say this honestly, that a lot of RV owners don't really do very well. They buy the RV and they kind of treat it like a home, that it'll never have issues, or there'll be a long time before they've got to do anything to it. But the truth is, RVs constantly need maintaining. And it doesn't take an awful lot to learn what to do, and it's not difficult. 80% of the things that need to be maintained or repaired around an RV can be done by the average RV owner. So try to maintain it. Keep it in really good shape and keep a record of what you are doing as you do it. Any maintenance you do or any repairs that you make to that RV, keep a record of it. Let me tell you, that impresses a buyer when you go to sell that RV and you hand over these records that show exactly what you've been doing to keep that RV in excellent shape. Automatically, in the buyer's mind, the value of that RV has increased. All right, let's go to number 3 on our list of slowing depreciation loss. And that is, keep your RV updated, if you can, as you go, with newer technology and newer styles and appearance. This is important because a lot of times people are looking for the latest things, the latest technology, the things that make RVing more easy for them. Also, you know, if you look at older RVs, you're going to see colors that just aren't anything near what we are into these days. You will see things like carpet used everywhere, all through it, instead of hardwood floors. And you'll see things that clearly date that RV. Well, try to keep your RV updated as much as you possibly can. And then when you do, the money you put into it that way is not only beneficial for you and your use of the RV, but in the mind of the buyer who's looking at that RV, when you sell it, that's an important point. It increases the value of the RV to them. Okay, so then now the question is, when is the best time to buy an RV to prevent value loss? In other words, where's the sweet spot in depreciation loss where you should be buying an RV? Honestly, it's somewhere between year 5 and 7. That's when, like we discussed earlier, depreciation has been going down pretty fast, and then it kind of just sort of starts to level out a little bit, and you can get a great RV for a great price that's depreciation stable at that point. So here's another question. Should you never buy a new RV then because of that big depreciation hit that you take right off the bat? Well, I'm not saying that. Not at all. There's actually several very good reasons that people buy new RVs. For instance, they may just want that bumper-to-bumper warranty that comes with it. They don't want to have to worry about paying for any repairs and so on. Also, a lot of people like new RVs because nobody's used it before them. You know, they know how that RV is going to be used because nobody has had it before and done some bad things to it. So they like that. They also like the idea that there's not been anybody who smoked in it or had pets in it or things like that. That's especially true with folks that have allergies. Also, people like to buy new RVs for the latest features, like we talked before, the latest technology. And there is nothing wrong with any of those reasons at all. And here is an important point. If you plan on keeping your RV, and I'm talking about keeping it for many, many years, maybe 10 years or longer, well then, honestly, depreciation doesn't really factor into the equation very much at that point, because all those years of depreciation, you are keeping that RV instead of selling it. Now, if you think, though, that you may sell your RV within the next few years or so, though, then it is important for you to make sure that you factor in the depreciation loss of value in the cost of that RV. And then try to minimize it as much as possible in the ways we talked about today. Well, that's it for now. Have safe and happy travels, my friends. Until next time.